Welcome back to our channel, where we explore the fascinating history of coins from around the world. Each coin is more than just metal, it is a time capsule, carrying the legacy of a nation's past, its culture, its leaders, and its values. In today's episode, we will dive deep into the story of the 1976 Australian 10-cent coin featuring Queen Elizabeth II. At first glance, this coin may seem like an ordinary piece of pocket change, but in reality, it holds incredible historical and numismatic significance. From its design origins during Australia's transition to decimal currency, to its connection with Queen Elizabeth II's reign, and its enduring role in Australian life, the 1976 10-cent coin tells a story worth remembering. So sit back and join me on this journey, as we uncover the complete history of this coin, from its minting, to its design, to its place in collectors' hearts today. Chapter 1. Australia and the birth of decimal currency. Before we dive into the 1976 coin itself, let's step back to understand the larger context. For much of its early history, Australia used the pound, shilling, and pence system, inherited from Britain. Just like the United Kingdom, £1 was made up of 20 shillings, and each shilling contained 12 pence, which meant there were 240 pence in a pound. This system was cumbersome, outdated, and confusing for ordinary Australians, especially as global trade expanded. By the mid-20th century, most major economies were shifting toward decimal systems, where one unit of currency could be divided easily into multiples of 10 or 100. Australia began serious discussions about making the change in the late 1950s. Finally, on February 14, 1966, Australia made the big switch to decimal currency. On that day, the Australian dollar was introduced, replacing the old pound system. $1 was divided into 100 cents. This was a monumental moment in the nation's economic history. New coins and notes were introduced, and the public had to learn a completely new way of calculating money. The 10-cent coin was born out of this reform. It replaced the old shilling in value. While people were saying goodbye to shillings and florins, they welcomed shiny new coins that felt modern, efficient, and uniquely Australian. Chapter 2, the 10-cent coin. General overview. The Australian 10-cent coin has remained one of the most recognizable coins in the country since decimalisation. Metal composition. The coin is made of cupronickel, a durable alloy consisting of 75% copper and 25% nickel. This composition gave it a bright silvery appearance, resistant to corrosion. Weight and size. The coin weighs 5.65 grams, has a diameter of 23.60 millimeters, and a thickness of 2.00 millimeters. Shape. It is a standard round coin with a reeded edge, similar to many other decimal coins worldwide. The 10-cent coin has remained unchanged in design since 1966, which makes it one of the longest-serving coin designs in Australian history. Chapter 3, the obverse. Queen Elizabeth II. On one side of the 1976 Australian 10-cent coin, you will find the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II. Designer. The portrait was created by Arnold Machin, a British sculptor and coin designer. His famous design was adopted by many Commonwealth countries during the 1960s and 1970s. Appearance. The Queen is shown wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, one of her favorite royal jewels. This elegant tiara became iconic in coinage portraiture. Inscriptions. Around the Queen's portrait are the words, Elizabeth II Australia 1976. This portrait is known as the second definitive portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, and it was used on Australian coins from 1966 until 1984. It symbolized stability, continuity, and Australia's close ties to the British monarchy, even as the nation was carving out its independent identity. Chapter 4, the reverse. The lyrebird. The reverse side of the 1976 10-cent coin is equally fascinating. Designer. The reverse was designed by Stuart Devlin, the official goldsmith and jeweler to the Queen. Devlin was commissioned to design Australia's new decimal coinage, and he filled the coins with distinctive Australian animals and symbols. Design. The 10-cent coin features the superb lyrebird, a bird native to Australia and famous for its extraordinary ability to mimic sounds. The lyrebird's tail feathers curve beautifully across the coin, creating a striking and elegant design. The lyrebird is more than just an artistic choice. It represents the uniqueness of Australia's wildlife and culture. Unlike kangaroos or koalas, which were already global icons, the lyrebird gave the coin a sense of mystery and sophistication. Chapter 5, 1976, the year in context now. Why focus on the 1976 issue of the 10-cent coin? 1976 was an important time in Australia's modern history. It was the period following the dramatic dismissal of Prime Minister Gough Whitlam in 1975, one of the most controversial moments in the country's political life. By 1976, Malcolm Fraser was serving as Prime Minister, leading a conservative government. Globally, 1976 was a year of great change. The Cold War was in full swing, the United States celebrated its bicentennial, Queen Elizabeth II was marking the 24th year of her reign. Within this historical backdrop, the 1976 10-cent coin circulated widely, passing through millions of hands as Australians navigated political debates, economic challenges, and cultural shifts. Chapter 6, Mintage and Circulation. The Royal Australian Mint in Canberra produced the 1976 10-cent coins. Mintage. Approximately 76 million coins were minted in that year. This high mintage means the coin was widely available, and almost every Australian alive in 1976 would have handled one. While not rare in circulation, finding a 1976 coin in pristine, uncirculated condition today is far more difficult, and these are the examples collectors value most. Chapter 7, Collectability and Value. Now, let's talk about the numismatic side. 4. Collectors. The 1976 10-cent coin holds value primarily in its condition. Circulated coins, most are worth face value, about 10 cents. Uncirculated coins, these can range from $2 to 10 Australian dollars, depending on grade. Proof coins, specially struck proof versions, with mirror-like surfaces, can fetch much higher prices among collectors. While it may not be among the rarest Australian coins, the 1976 issue has charm for collectors who enjoy building complete year sets or who appreciate the artistry of Stuart Devlin's designs. Chapter 8, Cultural and Historical Significance. Coins are more than economic tools, they are cultural artifacts. The 1976 Australian 10-cent coin symbolizes 1. Australia's transition to decimal currency, which modernized its economy. 2. The reign of Queen Elizabeth II, who appeared on every Australian coin of the time, reminding people of the monarchy's influence. 3. Australia's natural heritage, celebrated through the lyrebird design. Even today, decades later, the 10-cent coin continues to carry this symbolism in daily transactions. Chapter 9, The Legacy of the 10-cent coin. Since 1966, the 10-cent coin has remained unchanged in design. This continuity is remarkable. While many other coins have undergone redesigns or been withdrawn, the 10-cent coin with the lyrebird is still in use almost 60 years later. The 1976 coin is part of this long, unbroken tradition. For Australians who grew up in the 1970s, it holds a nostalgic charm. For younger generations, it represents a living piece of history that connects them to their parents and grandparents. Conclusion. The 1976 Australian 10-cent coin featuring Queen Elizabeth II is more than just a piece of metal. It is a symbol of a nation in transition, balancing tradition and modernity, monarchy and independence, history and progress. From its elegant design by Stuart Devlin, to its regal portrait of Queen Elizabeth II by Arnold Mackin, to its place in the hands and pockets of millions of Australians during a transformative decade, this coin is a lasting reminder of Australia's journey. So the next time you come across an old 10-cent coin, take a moment to look closely. You might just be holding a story of history, heritage, and identity right in your palm. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating stories of coins from around the world.